Hey everybody, this is Tim Peck here on Project Next, and this is a big day in the bad way right now. We are looking at the end of SNAP benefits coming to us in 2 days right now, and we've been doing a lot on Project Next to get the word out on what you can do to help people who need food and what you can do if you need food. And one of the ways people get food in this area of Kentuckiana is Dare to Care. Dare to Care is a food bank and so much more. But I want to tell a quick story before introducing the Chief Development Officer, Jackie Keating, about Dare to Care. My wife and I wanted to have a tradition for my son, where he gives money to a charity every Christmas. And he is only 3 right now, but wanted to get it started. And so it was a thing that he knows he's doing. And Dare to Care is that charity that he gives money to. So you get a donation out of my son's in my son's name every year, and we're just so grateful for the work you all do. But please introduce yourself. Tell us about Dare to Care, and then let's get into how people can get help and help.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Peck. It's a pleasure to be with you. And thank you to your son, who is so generous and doesn't even know it yet. So my name is Jackie Keating. I'm the Chief Development Officer at Dare to Care, where I have been just honored to serve for the last 15 years. And I'm so grateful for you for elevating this issue, particularly in this moment, because it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is going to be tough. So, as we know, the government shut down right now, federal government, and one of the things that needs to happen is SNAP needs to be rebudgeted for, and it runs out on the 31st of the strike clock. Clock strikes 12 on the 31st into the 1st, and so for millions and millions, tens of millions of people will all of a sudden not have the benefits they need to buy food. And we can talk about the politics of that, but more so, we want to put that aside right now. We can talk about the politics later after we figure out how people can get food. So, who's going to be affected, and how do they get help, and how do you help?
Yeah. Unfortunately, so many people are going to be affected by this. Today in Indiana, more than 500,000 of our neighbors benefit from SNAP every month. Dare to Care serves both Kentucky and Indiana, so I have some statistics from Kentucky as well. And when we're going into this challenge, we're coming in not from a position of strength. The latest food insecurity data tells us that over the past 2 years, we've seen an increase in food insecurity by 48% in our region alone. So that includes Southern Indiana, Louisville, surrounding counties.
And what does that word mean, food insecurity? You hear that, it sounds vague, actually. Tell me.
It does. Yeah. It sounds like advocacy speak, doesn't it? So, but there is a distinction between food insecurity and hunger. So thanks for the opportunity to share that. Hunger is that physical sensation that we all know when we are running out the door and we miss breakfast. It's that physical sensation that we all, as humans, understand, because we all rely on food to live our lives. Mm-hmm. Food insecurity is more of an economic condition. Food insecurity is when someone does not know how they will afford or obtain enough food to feed themselves or their families. When someone is food insecure, they might have some resources to fill their pantries. They might have a small income. A lot of the neighbors we serve are working 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 jobs, and they're just not earning enough to make ends meet. And so are making incredibly difficult choices every day. Do I buy food for my family? Do I feed my kids, or do I buy medicine? Do I pay my rent or my utility bill? Or can I put dinner on the table? Yeah. So we're already going into this with, not from a position of strength, because so many of our neighbors are struggling.
Yeah.
When we think about this current situation, I want to provide some context about what this means and the scale. Because I think so many people think, oh, SNAP benefits, food stamps, I don't benefit from those. I don't understand, next, because they don't fully understand. But this impacts so many of our neighbors. Like I said, more than 500,000 in Indiana, um, and so many in Kentucky as well. For context, about $16 million of SNAP benefits flow through Jefferson County, where I'm sitting right now, in Louisville, Kentucky, Jefferson County alone per month, $16 million per month. That's more than Dare to Care Food Bank's annual budget.
Yeah.
And so it's so significant. For every one meal the charitable sector like Dare to Care and our partners provide, SNAP provides 9. So the gap is going to be really significant. I don't mean to be a downer, but we have a very big challenge ahead of us.
Right. Are organizations like yours and others, do you even have enough food to handle this crisis?
Not today. No, we do not. In my 15 years at Dare to Care, I have never experienced inventory quite like what we're experiencing today. Okay. So we are ramping up efforts. We are increasing our purchases of fresh fruits and vegetables, of non-perishable items by 100% to start through the balance of the year, so that all of our partner pantries have hopefully enough or more than they would have otherwise.
Okay.
But we're talking about this on a daily basis to make sure that we are doing as much as we possibly can to meet the need.
And you purchase that food with donations that you have?
We will, yes. Food comes to us from a variety of sources. Traditionally, we do get about 30% of the food that we provide from the federal government. There have been significant interruptions and decreases in that this year. But we also get food from a variety of partners, from manufacturers, from farmers, from retailers, and then we do have a budget to purchase food to fill in nutritional gaps, and that's what we're tapping into right now.
Okay. And then do people donate food to you as well, or do you just buy food?
They do, yes. People do food drives, and we so appreciate them. In this moment, the way to have the biggest impact is to donate funds. Because it offers us flexibility to buy what's needed in real time. It offers us the flexibility to really extend our purchase power, and we can be incredibly efficient with $1. I think the latest statistic I saw was we're getting produce for about 25 cents a pound, which is insane. That's not what I pay at the grocery store. Yeah. And so we can really stretch donations in a meaningful way.
Got it. All right. And so how do people find you if they need food?
Oh, thank you for asking that. When people need help, I encourage them to visit daretocare.org. Particularly if you're in Kentuckiana, visit daretocare.org. There's a button that says Find Food. Okay. Type in your address, and it will show you a list of all of Dare to Care's partners. We have 400 of them across Kentucky and Southern Indiana. So you can see when they're open. You can add days of the week that you're available and put that filter in. But it will populate a list of resources if you need food assistance.
Okay. Got it. And then, so once you do that, the list of resources, tell me kind of what that looks like. So those lists of resources exist. But can you tell me a little bit more about those resources? For me, it's a little fuzzy right now. Where do people, is that like physical locations people are going? Is there like delivery mechanisms?
It is. Dare to Care, like I mentioned, partners with 400 other nonprofit and faith-based groups across Kentuckiana. Organizations like Center for Lay Ministries in Jeffersonville, Indiana, Hope Southern Indiana, in New Albany, places like Harrison County Community Services in Corydon. All of these organizations are open and will provide food for free, a lot of that food comes through Dare to Care.
Okay. Got it. All right. So let's say it one more time. How do we donate?
Visit donate.daretocare.org. A gift of any amount will truly have a meaningful impact.
Okay. And how much money do you all raise a year?
So our annual budget is $14 million a year.
Okay. I assume that you're going to get a whole lot more than that this year after this.
I hope you're right. It is definitely needed.
Yeah, you're going to need a whole lot more. We're going to need a whole lot more. People of Southern Indiana and Kentucky will need a whole lot more and across the whole country. So I really hope that you're able to raise it. And I know it's probably most of your job, is it not? You're the Chief Development Officer. What does that mean exactly?
Yes, that means that we offer opportunities for people to give and support our work.
Yeah, awesome. Well, consider this one of the opportunities as people are watching, small ways as well that people can help. There are my co-founder in Project Next, Sarah Blessing, very apropos name right now. She did a show trying to do kind of PSAs for people to find ways to get food and give food and donations. And we just got word that, the blessing boxes that are in Palmyra are all full right now, which is awesome, with someone who gave a pretty sizable donation. So, if we can keep that up through this crisis and come together as a community when government is failing us, I don't think that's very controversial thing to say, the government is failing us right now. That will be absolutely amazing if we can kind of cross across the community. So what else do you want to tell us about Dare to Care in particular? How do we trust you?
Dare to Care has been part of this community for the past 50 plus years. In my time alone, we've lived through a recession, pandemic, and now this. And in every one of those instances, I have seen tremendous need, and I have also seen incredible generosity. And so I believe in the power of this community coming together. I've seen it so many times. Mm-hmm. We are incredibly, like I said, efficient with every dollar. For every rating that exists, I think we get the very, very highest rating. So for Charity Navigator, for instance, we get the highest rating.
Yeah.
And so we are an incredibly trustworthy organization and put dollars to use.
And honestly, and for those of you who missed the beginning of the show, I trust you so much so, and I'll tell the story again, that my son, when my wife and I when he wasn't even born yet, we're thinking about how we can make sure that he's instilled with what it is to give, what it is to tithe. We decided to find a charity that we could trust, that would be a place where he can give his money every Christmas. And so he, in his name, gives money to you all every Christmas. And so we'll definitely continue to do that. And this year, even before Christmas. So the timing of this is right before the holidays. What does that mean to you, to people that you work with? Is that a particular time that people are experiencing more food insecurity, or a heightened sense of it?
I think a heightened sense of it, to be sure. You asked how we're feeling. It breaks our hearts. We've committed our careers, and so many volunteers have committed their precious gift of time to making sure that we don't have hunger. And now this. So it's heartbreaking for all of us. And it's also incredibly motivating. It is so energizing to see what we can do when we work together.
All right. Well, I know you're extremely busy, and I thank you for taking the time to come on here briefly. I'm sure today is not going to be a 9 to 5 day for you. And so thank you for doing so. Before we get off, I'm just gonna, ask you to plug it one more time. How do people donate? How do people, and then also say, how do people get food when they're hungry?
If you have the means to donate, you can visit donate.daretocare.org. And if you need help, please find us at daretocare.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Nice to meet you, Jackie. Hopefully, we can have a longer, more in-depth conversation about the systems that are in place and not in place in Kentuckiana when you have a little bit more time. So thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
And thank you to everyone for watching Project Next.